Hey everyone, welcome to the Carbonite Jedi, where the Force will be with you always. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about an article released by sci-fi.com, where the head writer of Obi-Wan Kenobi explains about Episode 4's Jedi Tomb. After the article, I'll give my opinion on what I think, so sit back, relax, and let's get this video going. Sci-Fi.com, Sci-Fi Wire released an article interviewing Joby Harold, the head writer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Okay, here's my disclaimer. I'm going to warn the viewers that this could contain potential spoilers for the Obi-Wan series, so if you don't want to hear any more, stop the video. The fourth episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus brought the battered ex-Jedi Knight, Ewan McGregor, to the water moon of Nur in the Mustafar system to rescue Princess Leia Organa, Vivian Lyra Blair, from the dreaded fortress Inquisitorius. While there, Obi-Wan, aka Ben, makes a rather bone-chilling discovery. The Inquisitors don't just kill their Force-sensitive targets, they also entomb the dead bodies in amber-like display cases. It's a macabre museum exhibit that stands as a testament to the cruel and unusual practices employed by the Empire in its quest to eradicate anyone, younglings included, who might stand in the way of total galactic domination. Speaking with Sci-Fi Wire this week, the show's head writer and executive producer, Joby Harold, explained how this frightening reveal was integral to the main character's emotional Star Wars journey. Obi-Wan's been in his cave on Tatooine, and he knows what's been happening, but he hasn't been confronted with it and the reality of it and how it's evolved, he told us. In that cave, you are somewhat cut off. Leia calls him to action, but through the course of his journey, he has to confront what has happened to the galaxy and also what's happened to the Jedi. It stops being theoretical and philosophical and starts being right in his face, to the point where it's a couple of feet away, and he's faced with a harsh horror. It was about finding those places along the way where he was confronted by the reality of the world now. Harold points to the moment in Episode 2 where Obi-Wan comes across the panhandling soldier, Temuera Morrison, who was callously tossed aside by the Empire once he outlived his Clone Wars usefulness. That and the tomb realization 2 episodes later are moments where you step outside the narrative of the show and you have Obi-Wan get to reflect upon the bigger universe and the timeline, because it's such a specific time, Harold adds. We needed to find something that could exist in the bowels of that fortress that could be dynamic enough that would really impact him in that way was tricky but also important. And then finding this sort of butterfly display of these Jedis kept in perpetuity and forever enshrined in this horrific way, it felt like a really important moment within the bigger journey. This week's stealthy infiltration of the Fortress Inquisitorius sparked an Exogorth-sized amount of excitement among the fan base, which compared certain elements of the daring prison break to one of the missions featured in the Jedi Fallen Order video game. Harold admits the similarities between the two were no coincidence, revealing that the design team did look to the game for inspiration with regards to the actual fortress itself and the opportunities that provided. He continues, "I know that that was a massive benefit to them and an exciting opportunity to look at that and help weave everything together within bigger canon. It's a very cool facility, and it's a kind of world that we haven't seen before. It's intimidating and imposing in its own way, and it's partly sort of just thinking, what's the worst place you could ask Obi-Wan to have to go? There's few places that would be more horrific to have to contend with." The manhunt for Obi-Wan is currently spearheaded by a third sister, Reva, Moses Ingram, a character heavily rumored to harbor a deep resentment for the Jedi Order after witnessing the brutal massacre as a Padawan on Coruscant during Order 66. While that theory has yet to be confirmed, the show does establish Reva's countless determination, which leads her to stab the Grand Inquisitor, Rupert Friend, and face the wrath of Lord Vader, Hayden Christensen. Story-wise, they were an important part of the puzzle for me because this is a show about Obi-Wan in hiding and on the run, Harold says of the Inquisitors. And it's also a show where you don't want that to just be Vader from page 1. You want to slowly pull back the layers, and there being the agents of Jedi hunting was a big part of that. Okay, here are my thoughts on the tomb and the writer. When Obi-Wan walked into the so-called tomb, I was thinking that they were in stasis, or if I might be so bold, Carbonite. I did not see any cuts, markings, or bruises on any of the people in the amber to indicate any violence, and was thinking that they might still be alive. Each cell had a control panel attached to it, so I was thinking that they could be released if needed, and it was keeping them alive. I heard rumor that Darth Sidious was using the blood of Force users or Jedi for nefarious projects, and possibly cloning. If a Jedi dies, the Force leaves his body and it becomes an empty shell. One other reason I think they could be alive is that Sidious was always trying to brainwash Jedi and Force users to do his bidding. In the Clone Wars, he had babies abducted to try and practice and see if he could brainwash them to serve him. During the episode, you see a young Jedi youngling in the amber and would think they wouldn't let a chance to turn him to the dark side slip away, let alone all the other people that were in the amber. I personally would hope they were in stasis and that the writers can come back and say that, try to give us a red herring by saying that everybody's dead. If not, then wow, this show has gone super dark, darker than any of the other shows or episodes I've seen. Even Revenge of the Sith, when it shows Anakin going all crazy and turning to the dark side. Just to have a trophy room full of dead Jedi, that is super twisted in my opinion, and a really weird situation. One thing I did notice with a very quick glance, and I was able to get a snapshot of it, was when Obi-Wan was leaving the tomb, you can see on the left side the youngling that he was looking at, and if you look across the hall, it's kind of blurry, but there's a person and it looks like Mace Windu. That would be so cool if they were still alive and he was able to escape. Then they might be able to add him to some future episodes or possibly movies. Alright everyone, I want to know what you think of this article. Do you like the way the series seems to be going, or do you think it should have gone some other way? What do you think about my theory on those amber cells where they kept the Jedi? Send me your thoughts, opinions, and ideas on what you would have done during the episode if you disagree with how it was written. So start leaving your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. Well, that's it for this video, but I'll be back soon with more Star Wars and other sci-fi movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is the Carbonite Jedi, where the Force will be with you always. Thank you so much for watching.